Hey, Coach, it's T.S. Mitchell, and I'd like to say thank you for making me a household name in my own house. When my wife and children heard your video, is cycling coaching necessary, and you was mentioning my name, they turned their heads and they said, wait a minute, is he talking about you? I said, yep, yes he is. And then they looked and they were speechless. But I was just laughing on the inside. I said, man, this is all right. But what I wanted to do is give you some idea or some visual proof, not necessarily for you, but for those naysayers out there who are wondering, is your coaching going to get them where they want to be? And I'm a sharp iron writer. And what I mean by sharp iron writer, I mean is that, as it's written in Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpens the countenance of his friend. You know, when I'm out there cycling, I enjoy being able to take the information that I have and to help someone else get better. And when I find someone such as yourself who can help me get better, I even get more pumped up to do what I can and to do better than I thought I could do. And yes, I know you said that in your video. I seem as if I'm pumped up and you had to calm me down a little bit. But I will say this, that on the 2-hour ride to this event, the assault on Mount Morrow, the assault on Morrow Mountain, I was listening to the video. And that's right, listening. I wasn't driving and watching the video, I was listening to it. And hearing about what you were saying, what we have to do, and how we have to help each other get better. And you use the word camaraderie. I like that. So, you know, we're comrades in getting this done. So what I wanted to do is really just give you what I saw when I was riding. And now the first section we see here, this is in the first 10 miles. And in the first 10 miles, you know, it was just rolling terrain going up and down. And that rolling terrain, I really didn't film that much of it. I just wanted to focus on the climb to the top of the mountain. Right here, we're turning onto Morrow Mountain Road. And from this point, Morrow Mountain Road, it is 3.5 miles to the top of the mountain. So there's basically 3 segments that are in here. The first is the turn, which we saw. Then we're going to get to the point where we're going to enter into the park, Morrow Mountain State Park. And then while we're in the park, it's going to turn like a fork in the road. It's going to turn, and then that's going to be the last mile, I think 1.3 miles to the very top. And let me tell you, that's when the stuff's going to hit the fan. Now, what I did here, since the first, the first 29 miles, really, the first 29 miles was basically just rolling hills. There was some pitches at 4% and some at 3%. But overall, even with those 3 and 4% climbs, I was able to catch the group. I didn't worry about trying to lead them. I stayed in the back for the entire 29, close to 30 miles. And so what I did was, when we turned onto Morrow Mountain Road, I decided, hey, let them go. Because if this is going to be the top of the mountain, eventually I'm going to catch up with them like I've been doing for the past, 29 miles. So they had about a 10-second lead on me. Oh, there's one rabbit. All right, so that's one rabbit right there. So they had about a 10-second lead on me. Then eventually it strung out a little bit more. Then I just kept my pace and I slowly just started bringing them back. Now, right here, there's about another 8 riders in front of me, because when we turn onto Mount Morrow, I keep reversing it. When we turned onto Morrow Mountain Road, there was about 10 riders in that group, so I just brought back one. And I'm just riding at my pace, and this pace right here, we are about a 4% grade. Okay, so some have started to slow down, but I think at this point I may have been in my big chain ring. But I was using a ratio. I ride a chain ring of a 5339, and then my cassette is a 9-speed cassette from 1227. So if I was in the big chain ring, I'm just thinking I may have been riding a
You're shifting to the big chain
5319 or 21.
Right.
But eventually I shift that over. Now I notice here we're starting to go downhill, so yeah, now I'm still in the big chain ring, and I may have dropped this down to about a 53 15 or so, maybe 14 depending upon the speed. But the key for me that I was trying to do was to keep the tension off of my legs. In other words,
Just keep moving, that's all.
the burn. And so
Doing
I
good.
kept my cadence up. I wanted to keep the cadence at the prescribed
I think we're gonna break
75 plus RPMs.
park entrance.
When I looked over
Which will give us
overall,
just about 30 miles.
I guess RPM for the entire ride, I
Yeah,
believe I
we're at
was
30 miles an hour.
over. Let me see here. Yeah, my average
About
cadence
50 kilometers.
for the entire ride was 77. So that just tells me I was
Alright, so
probably
here's
riding at this
first
point
group
somewhere in
coming
the
out.
80s, close to the 90s. Now this group coming back, that was the fast group, because when we went
They're the
out,
speed races.
we went out with roughly about, I do believe
Morrow
about
Mountain State Park.
60,
All right.
about 60, maybe 70 riders. And one of the organizers told me, he said, we got a small group. He said, probably the weather. It was 42 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 6 degrees Celsius.
Downhills that
He
we
says
took on
in
the
the
way
spring
here.
and summer months, for this
Gotta
particular
climb on the
ride,
way back.
this Assault on Morrow Mountain,
Just keep
he
it
said
moving.
they get 300 riders. And not only did he say that, I was speaking to one of the guys that I ride with here in my local area, and he said, yeah, they get about 300 riders. And I said, whoa. And the best part about this, it only costs $2. That's right, and that's a almost like a free will offering. You know, you sign a waiver, you pay your $2. There's sag wagons. They have folks driving the course to see if anybody needs assistance. And along with that, what I truly like about this is how they mark the course.
They can wait.
And what I mean by that, it's not like one of those, cheap arrows, thin arrows that people put down when they're marking the course. They have a symbol that they use. It's a big circle, fully colored, and a big triangle, fully covered, and they place it in the center of the road. And so you will see this as you're riding it. It's bright. And what they also did was they covered up they basically blacked out all the other arrows that are on the road, which made it simple and easy. They did give me a cue sheet, and I put that in my jacket pocket just for emergencies. Well, there's another rabbit. That's two rabbits. Two rabbits. Okay. So when I was riding this course, and I see those arrows, it made it easier to concentrate on the job and the task at hand. So when we're on this road, this Morrow Mountain Road, now this guy here,
Left side.
I saw him, he's riding. So I say to him, left side, and he puts his hands back on the handlebars. I said that typically I would ride past him without it, but since he didn't have his hands on the handlebars, I wanted to make sure that he didn't swerve into my way. And I wasn't quite sure where the other rabbit was that I passed, if he was trying to keep up with me, because I wasn't looking back. So I told him, left side. Maybe he was taking pictures. I don't know what he was doing. He probably didn't think anybody was going to catch him. Well, he found out different. So I passed him, and I'm keep going. Now, the race itself, or the ride itself, it is one of these rides where once you do it, and this is my first time doing this, and you say to yourself, I want to do this again. This is on my to-do list. And this is the first time I'm riding this route. So when I was with the group for the first 29 miles, I did not go to the front. I stayed literally either the last person or maybe somewhere the third to last, but I stayed back there. Okay, so we are on just about a 2% grade. I know we're going up and down. This is part of the rollers going into the park. Now, one thing that I noticed is that as I was riding, I was able to see ahead as far as the groups that were in front of me. And now what we're doing here
All right.
is now we're the last segment, the last mile, the last 1.3 miles to the top. Okay, so we come around that corner and we're still in the 2% grade. Now, as I was saying a little bit earlier, I stayed in the back sometimes. Why? Because I rolled faster than the others, so therefore it was easy to catch them. So now I picked up 3 rabbits, I dropped them, left them in the back, and I'm just riding my pace. Now, this guy is coming down from the top. He's running. I waved to him. He waved back. He didn't really lift his hand up too high. I guess he must be tired. But we're coming around this corner here, and I am still just riding. Now, I'm looking for the other group to say, really to try and determine how far they are ahead of me, but I can't see anything. Now, once again, this is my first time on this route, and being the first time, I don't know where the top is. So all I know is I just need to keep my pace, keep my cadence, and we're still pushing here. It's just riding, and so I'm just trying to make it through, and I begin to see some flickering tail lights up in the front. But the key is that my cadence was high, my my I guess my heart rate, it was still under the prescribed, I guess, threshold. I know we said we're going to try and keep it 5 beats below threshold, but when I looked over my numbers at the end of everything, I didn't even get close to the 5 beats, or close to my threshold, until I hit that crucial point. I guess that epic point. So right here, hey, I'm just rolling, and we're going back downhill. Just to keep pace on everything. And if you listen to my breathing, I'm not even breathing heavy. We're picking up another point here. We're getting to about another 5%. We still don't see the group. They're out there. Now you see these guys are coming back down from the top of the mountain. So I know the top is somewhere, but where is it? I don't know. So the only thing that I could do is really just keep my cadence, ride within my comfort.
Top of this climb.
Okay, I saw him.
Yeah, boy.
I saw him right here. So right between those trees and this S curve, I said, woo!
Woo!
I said, the top of the mountain is getting me. And when I saw that, why? Because when we came around that, just at the beginning of the S curve, I saw them between the trees. And I said, okay. And I think at this point, I shifted. I was already in my small chain ring.
I can't make it. Come on, keep
All right.
it pushing.
And now I didn't say I couldn't make it. I saw them, and I said out loud, you can't make it, meaning them, keep it pushing. Because what I see here is now those, obviously we had 10 guys that went out ahead of me, 3 got back, dropped, and now I guess the other 7 are in front of me. I can see them getting larger as I get closer. Now, I'm just looking at this, and I'm just keeping my pace, and I think at this point, we had gone from a 2% when we came into the last 1.3 miles. At this point here, we are now at an 8% incline. I mean, the road just all of a sudden, when we made that last turn into the S turn, it just went from a 3 and 4%, boom, right up to a 7 and 8. So now you can hear my breathing. We have the drop on the right-hand side. We have a switchback on the left-hand side. And all I can think right now is just maintain my breathing.
Oh, yeah. Switchback.
Switchback.
Yes.
You know, and when I said switchback, this guy right in front of me, I heard him say, "What?"
Oh, looking
Because
good.
he hears me breathing. I heard him say, "You want some of this?" So here's my reply when I catch this rabbit.
Yes, sir. Keep it going.
That's right. And right at this turn, it hit 11%. Now I was pushing enough power to get me up there, and he asked me if I wanted some of this. I said, "Yes, sir, keep it going." And I just dropped him like a bad habit. Now I'm not saying, okay, you know, that's not bragging. No, like an old preacher once said, you know, I'm not passing judgment. I'm just a fruit inspector. Okay. Now, as I'm coming around this side, it eases up to about 6%. And there are two more riders in front of me. This is part of the group that literally had a minute on me. And I just caught him. I'm still breathing. Now I'm looking for the smooth part of the road. This point right here, we're at I think we've already hit 10%. And now we're averaging about 9% grade at this section.
Woo!
Now, when I do that, woo! I liken it to if you ever drive in a car and you're on the interstate and a big diesel engine truck come up behind you and all you hear, is silent and all you hear is that truck lets you know it's right behind you. So when I said, woo! These three guys in front of me, especially this guy, if you're looking right now, especially the guy that's directly in front of me in the yellow and black. There's a guy in a red jersey, white jersey, and a yellow and black jersey. Look at him.
Yes.
The guy in the yellow and black jersey
Yes.
hears me coming. He jumps out of his saddle, trying to pick up the pace, because the other two heard that and they moved up forward too. So now he's trying to pick up his pace. And there's an interesting thing I'm going to say about this guy, is that as I'm coming up, he hears me coming. He hears my breathing. But my focus wasn't on him. It was on my breathing, my cadence, and just pushing through. Now watch what he does when I get up on him. He looks over at me. And then he says something. Now when he looked over at me, I didn't pay him any attention because he was not why I was there. I was riding for myself. And then he said something, and he said something again behind me. And I realized he was trying to keep pace with my pace. And he didn't last because I was dictating the pace, not him. So I caught that rabbit. So what's that? That's 6. That's rabbit number 7. Okay? And so now, I don't know what's at the top. I don't know how much further we have. I just know, just keep pushing. About 7% right now.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Beautiful.
I mean, hermosa, which is Spanish for beautiful. Hermosa Diaz. So I'm looking over the landscape and seeing the beautiful land. And this guy, I said, well, here's another one. Now, he was one of the 3 that was way up there, had about a minute on me. I just kept my pace and stayed within my rhythm. And what I realized is that I didn't know what was around the corner, so I could not stop pedaling because I didn't want to be on the side of a grade and then have to stop and then find a way to pick up my rhythm again. So I just kept pedaling, not knowing where the end was. And as I passed this is the restroom on the right-hand side. I see the guy coming around on the left side.
Yes, good, good,
And
good.
guess what? I'm at the top. I'm at the top. So of the 10 riders that got away from me, I pulled back 8.
Good.
And as I was entering this last section here, the guy in the white shirt that was part of the last 3,
Yes.
he was coming out. Hey, I believe that there was still some landscape to climb.
What do we got?
I probably would have caught him too.
32.5 miles.
32.5 miles. So that was a real good experience. Just being able to understand how to use my threshold. I'm looking at my numbers. And when I talk about the numbers, okay, hold on a second. That guy that right there, when they said, hey, he had about a minute ahead of me on 1 minute going at the start of the climb at the 10% grade. And it took him about close to 30 seconds to get to where I was. So not only did I make up a minute on him, I put 30 seconds on him too. And that was the guy that said, hey, you want some of this? And I said, yeah, keep it going. So you know what? We need to keep this going. I want to do a series, not I want to do, I will do a series every 4 weeks. We're going to revisit this.
So now we're going to take this going down so you can see what it looks like.
We're going to revisit this and we're going to monitor the progress because this is a ride that I really, really enjoy. You know, and I tell you, being a sharp iron rider is what it's about. Iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpens the continent of his friend. So my friend, we're going to make this happen. And just by understanding where I'm coming from and where I plan to go, then I know the direction that you're working on and putting it all together for me is definitely going to happen. So if I was able to do this, I think my average speed on this entire race was, I keep calling it a race, but for me it is, because I'm racing against myself. So on this entire thing, it was 15.2 miles per hour. And that includes the 10%, 8%, 9%, whatever percent it was, that includes the climb.
Now the road is not closed.
And hey, it was great. It was a great feeling. Now, I will say this. On Sunday when I went to church, yeah, buddy, I was tired. I was tired, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with being tired for some good, hard work. I am T.S. Mitchell, sharp iron rider, coached by Mellow Hunter. Be well, be blessed, and be your best.
You don't find yourself kicking more than